What's good, everyone? You are now tuned in to the Words With Deuce podcast, where I have real conversations with real people about real life. And today I'm joined by my amazing cousin, CEO of Danielle Rudolph Properties. My cousin Danielle is on the show. So Danielle, so happy that I was able to get you on here. And I start out every show by asking, like a check-in. So how's everything been going? And how are you doing?
Everything is awesome. My spirit is great. I'm in a fantastic mood. Business is going. And so, yeah, we're just moving forward. Thank you.
Awesome, no problem. And so definitely want to have conversations with you about business because, being your cousin, I was able to really see like you start from like really ground one, step one, and work your way all the way up to now, developing and just building houses and just like really prospering in the like real estate business. So I want to go back to the beginning. So like, how did you get your start into like real estate and stuff like that?
I'll give you the short story.
Okay, cool.
But for me, I've always looked for more. I always wanted more ever since I was a child.
Mhm.
So in 2000, in 1999, a friend of mine, they called me, they lived in Florida, and they were like, "Hey, Danielle, I'm down here flipping properties. You should do it. Like, it's great. I'm making a lot of money." So I'm like, "Okay, well, come and show me." Came to Indianapolis. We flipped a couple properties. I'm like 20 years old, and our first closing, I made $30,000 cash. And I was like, oh my God, like this
Yeah,
is for real, legit.
yeah.
Um, but being young and not having mentors,
Mhm,
going back, I didn't know what to do with that money.
mhm,
So did some flips, and then I pivoted into a different business.
mhm,
A couple years later, I'm like, let me get back into this real estate thing and see how that works. So I moved to Georgia in 2006. I got my real estate license because I wanted to learn the other side of the business.
mhm,
Um, from investing. So 2007, got my real estate license. 2012, got my broker's license to open up my own brokerage firm
mhm.
to manage agents up under me. And then as the market is turning, I just learn how to pivot and go with where we are. It's been, new territories for me, but I just let God lead me, and he always puts me in the perfect position. So I'm a full-time realtor, I'm a broker, and I'm like, you know what? Let me learn about, representing a builder,
Yeah.
so I can stop driving around with buyers. Let me have them come to me. So I'm trying to work smart and not hard.
Right,
Okay. So
right,
that was
right.
the mindset. Let's work
Yep,
smart and not hard. So
yep.
I was driving around, and I got to my third development because I'll just pull up, and jump out the car and be like, hey, who's the developer? Who's the investor here? I'm looking to represent them as their listing agent. So I did that. On my third one, a gentleman approached me. He was like, well, the investor, they don't live here, but I'll connect you with them and take it from there. So got the investor's information. They didn't live in Georgia. I called him, we connected, and he said, the next time I'm in Atlanta, we can sit down and have a meeting. And I'm like, okay, cool. He gets to Atlanta. It was Labor Day weekend. I'll never forget.
Mhm.
My broker that I was under was on holiday. Like everybody was out of town. I'm like, he would come to Atlanta when everybody that I wanted to support me
Mhm.
was gone.
Oh,
So
wow.
I only had God.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, God, take me through this meeting, like just be my guide through this. So he comes in the office and he has 11 guys with him. I'm like, oh my God, super intimidated.
Right.
My body temperature went to like 130 degrees because I'm just like, oh, can I do this? Can I do this? But anyway, I had my presentation, put it up on the screen, went through the presentation, and he said, um, I'll move forward with you if you be my boots on the ground. And I'm like, sure, like, why not? I got this. So he signed the contract, signed on the dotted line that day. I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. Okay, well, boots on the ground, I did not know that it meant do everything.
Everything,
And
yeah.
when I say everything for the development, I'm thinking I'm coming on just as the listing agents and the buyers come to me and I'm selling a house.
Mhm.
No, what was happening was God was setting me up for where I am today. This
Right.
was in 2019.
Mhm.
So boots on the ground meant, dealing with the county, dealing with the engineers, dealing with the arborists, dealing with the surveyors, dealing with the builder, dealing with utilities, getting power, on the street. Like I had to deal with all those things. Things were in my name. And I'm just like, okay, well, I'm really supposed to just be the agent, but it was I enjoyed the process. I was learning something new.
Yeah.
Um, and so with that, you know, I listed the properties for sale and we sold out in 30 days.
Oh,
I had
wow.
13 properties under contract,
Oh, wow.
signed, sealed, and delivered. And from there, it was just getting them built. I was selling, these homes just off the blueprint. And
Mhm.
so they were all under contract in 30 days. We built it and we sold out. And then from there, you know, just things changed and I decided to go out on my own. So from there, I started with one house, got a phone call. Somebody said, my cousin, they have an extra lot next to their house and they want to sell. And I'm like, I'll go look at it.
Yeah.
Drove over there and was like, okay, this could probably work. I'm a realtor, so I know how to run my comps and know the areas and things like that and how they appreciate. So I
Mhm.
knew my numbers going in and what it could possibly sell for. So I took my cash and I built my first house.
Oh,
And
wow.
then from there, have multiple offers, sold it to a cash buyer. And I was like, okay, I can do this. And so
Yep.
from there, just kept rolling those proceeds into the next project. So it started off at a 2,200 square foot house, and now I'm building over 10,000 square feet
Mhm.
houses.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, and I'm able to see that too because, which I'll make sure everybody knows too about the Instagram account. You show the from the ground up everything. So I've actually been fortunate enough to be able to see that myself, and it's awesome. Those houses that you build are amazing. They're mind
Thank
blowing. They're very mind blowing. So I noticed when you was talking, you said that well, of course I know because I'm family, but born and raised in Indianapolis.
Yes.
Then you moved from Indianapolis to Atlanta.
Mhm.
So talk to me about that transition coming from Midwest to the South. How was that how was that transition?
It was scary.
Yeah.
It was scary. All my family's back in Indianapolis.
Mhm.
Just had cousins here. So
Mhm.
my immediate family. And so, but I didn't let that stop me. Like I've always been the person that's like, let's try.
Mhm.
Um, and if it doesn't work, I could always go back.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So, for me being coming to Atlanta, I had a daughter. Um,
Mhm.
and so it was between Arizona, Houston, Texas, or Atlanta.
Okay.
Have cousins in Arizona.
Yep.
I had
Yep.
one friend in Houston, and I had a friend here in Atlanta with cousins. And I'm like, okay, where should I go? So I decided to bring it to Atlanta because if I ever needed to go home or needed my mom, it was close for her
Mhm.
to get to me here.
Mhm.
And so 2006, I've been here and it's been working out ever since. And I've never had to go back home. Thank
Yep.
you, God. So
Except for we did have a family reunion in Indianapolis one time. I remember that. That's
yeah,
so definitely going back to visiting, and then Auntie she comes down too, so that's
yeah.
good. So shout out Auntie, shout out cousin Couture, shout out my cousins and my Auntie. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's really really good. And so, do you think like your real estate journey would have been different if you was to have gone to Houston or Arizona? And part two to that, because I know Houston is similar to Atlanta, more nightlife and stuff like that. So, do you notice a difference when it comes to the real estate business in Atlanta more so than like Arizona or Houston?
I think they probably would have been similar, to be honest with you. Those markets have grown kind of parallel to Georgia, especially Houston,
Mhm,
or Texas in general.
mhm,
Um, but by Atlanta kind of being that mecca and so many people coming and transitioning here, like there's people who move in and out of Georgia daily. And so we're expanding at a rate faster than a lot of cities and still have comfortable price points for people who are purchasing looking for houses. So yeah.
Okay, okay, really good. So let me ask this now. So with regentrification happening big here in the Atlanta area, does what kind of effect does that play as far as you with developing and like building and selling and stuff? Does it make it harder, easier? Like how does that play into everything?
With gentrification, I would say I'm not on that side because
Okay,
I build new construction houses.
okay.
It really depends on there's a few ways to look at gentrification. I don't believe putting people out of their homes
Mm-hmm.
to,
Mm-hmm.
to turn a profit, because then those people don't have anywhere to go. And just when we talk about financial literacy,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, there's a lot of people who don't know financial literacy. And so
Yeah.
when people bring an opportunity to them or a deal, let's call it, they're like, hey, we'll give you $50,000 for your home. Well, these people have never seen $50,000
Mhm.
before in their life. They
Right.
don't know how to manage it.
Mhm.
And so $50,000 is not going to get them very far,
Mhm.
especially when they don't have anywhere else to go, and you're taking that and then now you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars on that.
Right.
So in that respect, I don't like that part of the gentrification, but if it's vacant land or the house is just sitting there and
Mhm.
the family doesn't want anything to do with it, then I'll say, okay, yeah, let's go into those neighborhoods and fix up the homes and then provide housing for other people.
Mm. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that. So with that, like I know you were saying, so let's go back to your journey. You were saying that your first like purchase in the business or your first like big thing was the $30,000 like receivement. So you was able to, I guess, did you buy the house and then have to like do it like that? So like how does that process like work where you were able to like get that?
Right. So what we did is we bought the house and we completely gutted it out.
Okay.
So, I mean, back then those houses, 1940, 1960 houses with
Mhm.
steel tubs,
Mhm.
like I remember banging the tub out like I was in there just like demolition. And then we brought in the contractors to do the finishing work. But I wanted to know what that process looked like, how much time did it take for me, so I can understand what that looks like when I'm bringing in subcontractors on my jobs,
Right.
because me being a female
Mhm.
back then, not knowing construction, not knowing renovation,
Right.
unfortunately people take advantage of you. And so
Yeah.
I wanted to know what that work actually entailed, what it
Mhm.
cost, so
Mhm.
then to move forward I could subcontract it out and know, like, okay, well, to do a kitchen it doesn't take a month. Like you can get this kitchen done in a week. So bought the property, did that, and then put it on the market for market value. So for instance, the house was like $65,000.
Mhm.
And then we went in there, we did the rehab, brought it back up to code, and then we sold it. And then that's what the profit was, 30,000.
Got it. So growing up, like, was that like your interest? Like, were you growing up as a girl, young lady, like watching like HGTV and stuff like that, and that got you interested in it? So, like, where did the interest in like the real estate and stuff like that actually come from?
That is a good question. As far as interest, I think that me just moving forward and wanting to progress in my life, it came to me. I actually went to school and studied for criminal justice.
Really? I never
Wanted
knew
to be a
that.
judge. So I went from
Really?
judge to developer.
Wow, I never
But
knew
yeah,
that.
I went to school for that. So, but I would say what probably kept me in this field is because of my daughter, and I wanted to be able to have the opportunity to go to her school and go to parent and teacher meetings and be involved and be at gymnastics and all those things that she did as a child that allowed me to have that flexibility being in real estate.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand. because I worked in corporate America,
Mhm.
and I would be on the phone at one of my previous positions with my executive. We would have calls every morning to kind of just talk about our plan and what we were doing. And she would be driving her kids to school every single day, and they're screaming in the background and doing whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
But then you want me to ask you to go get my daughter from daycare because she don't feel good.
Yeah.
That just didn't work with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I have to ask you permission to be with my child or to go pick my kid up. And so real estate allowed me the freedom to be involved in my daughter's life.
Right, right, right. And speaking of that, you are a grandma as well to a set of twins. So kind of so talk to me about how that experience is going. And let's first start out with like when you found out you was being a grandma and you found out Couture was pregnant and stuff like that. Talk to me about like the
I
feeling.
was shocked. She called and I just had a feeling she was crying. She was like, "Mom," and I'm just like, "Are you pregnant?" She's like, "Yes, there's 2 dots." And I'm like, "Oh God, there's twins." So yeah, it was a very just like we were shocked.
Mhm, mhm,
I guess that's the only word that I could find for that moment, but it's such a rewarding experience. I'm so happy to be able to see my grandchildren
yeah.
because they were born in 22. And I know
Mhm,
that we talked about this briefly, but in 2019, I went into cardiac arrest 3 times. And
mhm.
so my daughter literally saved my life.
Oh
And so
wow.
just talk about purpose and why people are
Mhm,
here.
mhm,
You know, 2019, went in the hospital, she was basically my caregiver. She made the decisions and told the doctors what needed to happen in order to save my life. So if I did not, you know, if God did not have me here, I would have missed this
mhm,
journey in her life and being able to experience my grandchildren. Um,
mhm,
through that. So it's very rewarding. I'm excited. I love talking to them every day before they go to school.
mhm.
I get them about 2 weeks to a month throughout the year, different times of the year, and keep them. So it's good to, just be able to I guess give them more, just more than I was able to give my daughter, so it
Yeah,
feels
that's
and
awesome.
create a legacy, continue the legacy and continue building so they can have something when I'm no longer here.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's really, really awesome. Yeah, that was such a like scary time.
mhm.
What that was 2019, wasn't it? When
Yep,
you
2019. And it was ironic because 2019, that I had signed the deal to represent the investor.
mm-hmm.
That was Labor Day. I had been going through the process of buying my first house.
Oh wow.
So it was a surprise, and I didn't tell my mom, I didn't tell anybody. My good friend was my lender, and
Mm-hmm.
so he helped me, get my mortgage or whatnot. And so I closed on my house November 13th of 2019, and then I went into cardiac arrest November 18th, 2019. And
Wow.
so my mom, my daughter, nobody knew that I had just bought a house.
House. Wow. Is that the house that you're
That's
currently
the house that I'm living
that
in,
you built?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you actually built on to like you had it and then you I guess like redid that. All I know is
The
redid. What's the
renovation,
renovation?
yeah,
Yeah, that's it. Okay, that's the
the
yeah, yeah,
renovation,
yeah.
so it was a one-story
Beautiful.
house, and, it became 2 stories, so it was God gave me more than what I imagined. Like,
Yeah.
I imagined myself, being a homeowner, and I was excited about it,
Mhm.
and I had this, design in my house, like, "Okay, Imma, have it this color, Imma do it like this," but I wasn't looking to change the footprint. It was a two-bedroom, one-bath home, and now it's 5 bedroom,
5 bedrooms, yeah, got the
4 bathroom home.
top. Got an event center in the
Yeah,
basement.
you thank you for blessing me.
Yes, 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 yes. And I know, growing up, of course, our family is really big on faith and God and stuff like that. And so when what age or when did you start to kind of take your Christianity serious and God and stuff like that? What age was that for you?
I think from a kid, you know, we grew up in the church, so it
Hmm.
was, you know, my mom in the closet tearing for the Lord.
Yep. Yeah.
So from a young child, that's just been with me, and I've been able to take that with me as I've grown up, you know. So yeah, from a young child
Yes,
for
sir. Was
sure.
y'all at Bethula? But is that the church?
Bethesda?
Bethesda.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
no, so Bethesda's in Indianapolis. My mom, she didn't go there. We
Okay.
went to a church closer to home, but we would visit Bethesda from
Oh,
time to
yeah.
time.
So I know
Yeah,
my father, he talks about that a lot and said that's the church that he grew up in. And
that's
Mama,
the family
no,
church.
she was
Yeah,
there.
that's my
Yeah,
mom
yeah.
got married there
Oh, so I'm sure I got married at
at Bethesda.
Bethesda. Okay, okay. So
Yeah.
Bethesda got some family history too.
For
That's
sure, it does.
yeah, for sure. Yes, yes. So kind of I noticed that you recently, well, no, let me ask this. Talk about like the connections and like connecting and just like networking, the networking opportunities and stuff like that that you've been able to like get with like your real estate and stuff like that. Kind of talk about that for a sec.
Um, I would say really whatever you put your mind to, you can have. A lot of the times people say things, but they don't believe it.
Mhm.
And so I always reference that God said, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, like
Mhm.
as small as a mustard seed. So if you get a mustard seed and put it in your hand, it's like my faith just has to be like this. And it's already here, like it's already here. You just have to believe it. And I believe people just talk about it, but they don't really believe the words that they're saying.
Mhm.
Um, and so for me, when it comes to connections, whatever it is that I'm looking to do or looking to gain, you know, I pray about it. I ask God, and literally He sends the people to me. I'll get emails. Somebody will call me that they seen, you know, my website or referral. Like it's literally, it happens quickly.
Mhm.
But you have to be in that mindset and be a go-getter and just move forward.
Yeah.
Faith without works is dead. So one foot in front of the other and stop trying to figure out like how is it going to end?
Mhm.
Just start.
That's
Like if
right.
you just start, God will put all the pieces together for you.
Yep.
But I think people get stuck on, okay, so what am I supposed to do next? And what's
Yep.
the middle part? And then what's the end part? No, He knows the end, and it's definitely way better than what you could have ever imagined. But He just wants you to move. And when you move, then He can send the people to you, and you got to get out your house. Like I
Yeah.
know people who want to start businesses, even though you can start a business from your house, you know, but still you have to be researching and talking to people and letting people know, hey, this is what I'm doing. And so then they can bring the people to you. Talk to people at the grocery store, talk to people at the gas station. Your
Yep.
spirit influence, like
Yep.
the information and the resources that you need is readily available. You just have to let people know that you need it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So a couple more questions, and then I'm gonna let you go. So I noticed like you get opportunities to travel a lot, and I know you're big on traveling and stuff like that. So kind of talk to me about your favorite place you've ever traveled to.
Oh my goodness, it gets harder every time I travel.
Mhm.
My favorite place right now, I will have to say Bali,
Um,
Indonesia. I just came back from there in January.
mhm.
Um, I wanted to reset and kind of go within and just do a cleanse and just be on a spiritual journey the
Mhm.
end of the year and the beginning of this year.
Mhm.
And so when I went to Bali, it was just that I think they call it like the the peaceful island or something like that. But when you get there, it's just so serene. The people are amazing. The food is unbelievable to a point where it's so clean.
Yeah.
It's literally picked from the garden, like farm to table. Every restaurant you go to, even in your resorts, it's literally farm to table, and the food is so fresh. So, in that experience, it was very healing for me, and it was something that I needed. So I would have to say now Bali, but I've been to 67 countries so far. So Next is India. I'm doing the Golden Triangle, so I'm excited about
Wow.
that.
And that's already set. You know when do you know when you're gonna go?
In August.
In August. Okay. Oh wow, that's awesome. So yeah, I seen you riding the camel. Where was the camel ride at? What country was that?
Well, the camel ride was in Egypt, but I've rode camels like in Mexico and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But the one where I'm standing up on the camel,
Yes, yes.
Egypt. The tiger
Wow.
photo is in Thailand. Yeah, in Thailand.
Was you
So
nervous on the
I was
tiger?
scared. I was so scared.
Yeah.
But you do what I'm gonna do it for the gram. Let me
For
get
the
my
girl, yeah.
I did it for the
Yeah,
gram, but I was so scared. But yeah, it
yeah,
was to have experiences is what makes me happy. I love experiences. I love enjoying life, being in the moment, being present,
yeah,
having conversations, learning about people, different things that feeds my spirit. So
yeah.
that's what I enjoy.
Yeah, now you say you're saying something with the experience too, because I know when we was doing a wellness retreat, I believe that was in Costa Maya,
Mhm.
Mexico, and we was doing the wellness retreat, and the lady she was there by herself, and she told us, or she was talking to my dad and my mom. She was just like, I always try to teach my kids, and I tell everyone like it's all about the experiences because
Mhm.
the materialistic things they'll come and they'll go. Like you're not gonna get them for a lifetime, but the memories that you create when you're going out of town, the memories that you create and the experiences, they last a lifetime.
It
And I
lasts
know
a
she
lot.
had yeah, I know she had a real good experience with the Atlanta United game. I saw that on Instagram. That was fun. Did you enjoy it? Was that
Yes,
your first
I
United game?
love soccer, huh?
Was that how many have you been? So you've been to
Yeah,
one?
I go often. Yeah. So our partners, Home Depot,
Okay.
they gifted us, tickets to the suite. And so we get tickets very often throughout the year during soccer season. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah.
The best 90 minutes in
Yep.
sport
Yep.
that you can experience. You
Hmm.
cannot be late because you'll miss it.
Yeah, the
But
pregame is just outstanding too.
oh my,
When
it's
they
just
ring the bell.
the
Yeah.
energy that you feel, and it's almost like the stadium is
Yeah.
swaying.
Yeah.
And you don't get that with basketball or
Mm.
football. So if you have the opportunity to go to a football game uh,
Yeah.
outside the country, you should totally experience that. It's like no other.
So you
Like
actually had a chance to watch a soccer game in another country?
in Portugal. Oh my,
Wow. Oh, I bet that was
it was
something
crazy.
else.
Yeah, I mean for my first time, I was like, "Oh my gosh, these people!" But
Yeah.
everyone's happy. They're rooting for their teams. They're in the streets with their flags and
Oh,
banners.
wow.
Like, and literally, it's so energetic. It's kind of like you're just swaying in the stadium.
Wow.
They're serious about their soccer for real, but
Yeah.
it's a fun time. It's so fun.
Wow. Yeah. And I always say when it comes to Atlanta sports, Atlanta United games are the best. Like
They're the best.
yeah, they're
Yeah,
not sitting down at all. They're banging on the drums and chanting the whole yeah, the whole time. So I'm
the
definitely
entire time standing up.
yes, the
Yeah.
whole time. So I'm definitely gonna make my way. I know I went last year. I went with my family last year, and then I'm gonna go this year as well. But Atlanta
Okay.
United games are the best. So last question, then I'm gonna let you go. So for someone that is aspiring to be a real estate agent or a realtor and to get into real estate, what advice would you have for them?
Oh, interesting. What advice? It's not easy.
Yeah, yeah,
I
because
would
everybody
tell
thinks
yeah,
that. Not to cut you off, but everybody thinks like real estate is that one career where you can just sell it and then you make your money and you're good on that. So it's good that you're, letting people know that.
now I'm gonna be real with you. It is not easy.
Yeah.
It is worth it and it's very rewarding, but it's not easy. My advice, I would say definitely do it.
Yeah.
Figure out what sector of real estate you want to be in because you can be in sales, you can be a surveyor, appraiser, developer, builder. Like there's so many opportunities within real estate that you can aspire to be. I would just say do it and get a mentor.
Hmm.
Please get a mentor, get a coach. Because having a mentor and a coach will get you to your destination quicker than doing it by yourself.
Mhm.
And so you have to invest in somebody that's already done it and that's been there. And please do your research. Like, unfortunately, with social media, there's a lot of the new word is capping.
Yeah.
A lot of cap,
Yep, yes,
okay?
it is. Yep, yep.
So do your due diligence. Like, don't give your money to people where you haven't actually seen that they have fruit. They're
Yes,
bearing fruit,
yes.
so you have to be smart about that. But get a coach, get a mentor, and that person is supposed to propel you to your destination quicker than what it would take with you by yourself. And I definitely have them, and that's why I'm also able to, move quicker through this industry. But when I first started, I didn't have anybody. And it was really hard trying to navigate, the real estate market. And when I got into the business, it was a 2000, 2007, 2008 crash. So we
Mhm.
started doing foreclosures and short sales. So nobody had ever seen that in our industry. So sometimes it's a little bit hard. But when you have somebody that's seasoned or that knows how to pivot in the market and they can take you under their wing, like it's golden for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. That's really, really awesome. So tell everyone, how can they follow you on the social medias? Talk about like the website that you have, because I'm sure a lot of people are wanting to buy houses and get in, and do that. So kind of market your platforms and stuff like that, and tell everyone where they can follow you and stuff.
Yes, so you can find me on our platforms, Danielle Rudolph Properties, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube,
Okay.
Danielle Rudolph Properties. Currently, we build in our price points. So from mid to high range, we can do builds. We do custom builds as well. And then I do spec homes. So currently I'm building a subdivision called Madison Monroe Acres, and
Ooh,
it is named after my twin grandbaby girls.
okay.
But these homes are located in Fayetteville. They're just minutes away from the airport, Trilla Studios, the U.S. national soccer team, downtown Atlanta, Buckhead. Like, it is really a sweet gem being in Fayetteville. A lot of people have been sleeping on Fayetteville, but there's a lot of development happening down there. And the school systems are amazing. Peachtree City, Tyrone, like, it's amazing down in Fayetteville. And the subdivision website is madisonmonroeacres.com.
Got it. Awesome. Well, cuz I'm so proud of you. You're doing
Thank
amazing,
you.
doing amazing. And I just really appreciate you joining me on the show today. So
Hey,
thank you
thanks
so
for
much.
having me. I
It's no
appreciate
problem.
it.
No problem at all. All right. Till next time.
Cheers.
All
Bye
right.